everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time to continue the main story, as we are trying to figure out what we're gonna do about the incoming Dravanian horde. Before we begin, we do have minion roulette to do today, which is why I decided to start out here. We got the magic broom! And also, I picked up a few things that I want to get into my list of collections. First off, from PvP Series 7, I got the 4th reward, the level 20 reward, which is the Red Sands Framers Kit, which is themed after one of the Crystalline Conflict maps. Also, I finally caved and bought this off the market board. The Faces We Wear Classic Spectacles. Classic Spectacles are the glasses that Satoru always wears, and there is a face-wear version of it so that you can have glasses in addition to whatever hat or helmet you want on your head. Normally, you can only get the Classic Spectacles face-wear from what's called, oh god, is it subaquatic voyages? It is a thing that you do as part of the player housing system, and I believe it is, I haven't done it before, but it requires so many resources, and to my knowledge, it is basically restricted to free companies. I only ever hear about it being a free company thing. And I don't have a free company, which is unfortunate. I would not want to join one unless it was like consisting of friends specifically. I don't want to join a whole bunch of randoms, especially on this character who I'm using specifically for this playthrough. So I don't really have access to these subaquatic voyages or the other related system where the Classic Spectacles can be found, so I had to buy it off the market board for like 300,000 gil, which is ridiculously expensive. But the good news is now I have Classic Spectacles, so now I can equip any generic facewear, I suppose. Sorry, I can equip this as facewear, and then equip any like helmet or headpiece that I want, with no worries about like mixing and matching. Though I have found, well, thankfully it's Classic Spectacles on both the headpiece and the facewear right now, so there's no clipping. But if I were to equip a different headpiece, for example, let's head into Glamour Plate. I guess this one would actually be fine. Here, let me zoom that in a little bit. Yeah, this one looks like it would be fine. But I have found there's a few gear pieces where there's a really, really funky clipping going on if you have both glasses and your regular headpiece on at the same time. It is kind of entertaining, honestly. Anyways, I will eventually probably rework Satoru's glams a little bit to start incorporating like hats and such, especially now that we have the Classic Spectacles facewear, so we don't have to worry about her not being able to see in various glams. This will especially be helpful for our crafters and gatherers, which historically have they've had a headpiece which overwrites her normal glasses. I'll be able to set that up properly finally, which is nice. Anyways, I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. I finally got tired enough of not having it, so I just went and bought it off the market board. Not like I'd be able to feasibly get it anyway, since that whole feature seems to be restricted, to my knowledge, to free companies. And also, we're not going to be having access to player housing for a long time. It's so expensive. Alright, let's get started. Tataru. What will become of this place and us? God, that is a good question. Let's do what we can to help. Alphinaud is deliberating how best to proceed. The choice we make this day may have grave implications for our order. It is only right that Tataru should have a say. Come, let us all meet outside and discuss the path that lies before us. Yeah, Tataru may not be a combatant, but she is still a vital part of the Scions. And this is going to have huge ramifications, so Tataru? Even if you're not fighting, you get a say in this. I agree with Alphinaud on that. Well, same thing as before.
Ishgard cannot well endure another assault. Even should her knights succeed in turning back the Horde, the casualties will be catastrophic.
But what other choice do we have? It's not like we can talk it over with them. Dragons and men aren't exactly on speaking terms.
With certain notable exceptions.
You don't mean Iceheart?
When last you spoke with her, she lamented her crimes, did she not? Then there remains a sliver of hope. If we can persuade Iceheart to act as our intermediary, we may yet be able to convince Nidhogg to abandon his bloody course.
If there is to be a meeting, I would accompany you.
Estinian.
Even with your intermediary, Nidhogg's blood rage may render him deaf to reason. However, the mere attempt may afford our forces precious time to prepare. Of course, you might also consider a more direct approach to ending this conflict. With the power of the Eye at my disposal, and the vaunted strength of the Warrior of Light, we could conceivably slay the beast outright.
If we are to risk a face-to-face meeting with the Dread Worm, I, for one, would feel safer in the company of the Azure Dragoon. However, I should only turn to your alarms if my words failed to find their mark. Is that clear?
Perfectly. I shall assume that Iceheart enjoys similar diplomatic protection until instructed otherwise. A word of advice. Think carefully before divulging the particulars of this plan to Sir Emmerich. 'Twould not do to have the Lord Commander accused of consorting with heretics.
Indeed. I thank you for your counsel, Estinian. We shall be honored to have you with us.
I am glad to be of service.
Not gonna lie, Estinian, glad to have your strength on our side. Very nervous about you being with us after what happened in Dragoon 50! We have chosen a difficult road, yet even should we succeed in winning Iceheart to our cause, our plans for parley will swiftly come to naught should the Holy See decide to strike first against the Horde. We must petition the Lord Commander's aid ere we set forth. I only hope that Sir Emmerich will be willing to muzzle Ishgard's forces on the strength of our vague assurances. Totaro, I would ask that you remain at Fortom Manor and inform the Count of our decision. Tell him that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn mean to do all in their power to ensure that Ishgard and her people survive. Yes, sir! Okay, I mean, this is certainly a plan that we have come to. If we can manage to convince Nidhogg to stand down, that would be an incredible win. I dare not hope that this would end the war, but God, wouldn't that be fun if we could actually, if 1,000 years of conflict and all it took was one conversation to end the war. It's not going to be that easy. It's not. But if we can at least try to delay the attack, if not stop it entirely, that'll give Ishgard time to prepare and protect the innocents. You would speak of the Lord Commander? Pray make it quick.
I want the defenses of the Outer Ward rechecked. See to it that the ballistas are in good repair and supplied with enough ammunition for a prolonged siege.
At once, my lord.
Ah, 'twould seem I have visitors. And unlike those messing beyond our walls, these ones are welcome.
Pray forgive us for interrupting you in the midst of your preparations, Sir Emmerich, but our suit concerns the impending assault. To speak plain, we believe there is a chance the invasion might be halted before it even begins. I can divulge little more at this time, but I must nevertheless request that you advise the Holy See to refrain from launching any preemptive sorties whilst we seek to put our plans in motion.
I will gladly lend my support to any endeavor that could spare the blood of my countrymen, but I would know more of the cause you would have me champion. Will you not share aught of this mysterious undertaking?
Know that I have offered my lance to aid in this endeavor. I cannot claim that its success is assured. But our actions should serve to delay Nidhogg's advance at the very least. Which is more than can be said for the ill-conceived counterattack advocated by the sea's more vocal crusaders. They offer glorious death, but little hope of victory.
Aye, their proposal does not inspire confidence. Our resources should rightly be spent shoring up the city's defenses. The Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light sallying forth together to face the dread worm Nidhogg. I must admit the mere thought of it does much to dispel my misgivings. Go then, carry out your plan. I shall do what I can for you within the Holy See.
Alright, looks like that worked. So then, I guess we have our new mission. Go fucking parlay with the Dravanians! I will say this for your plan, it has made keeping secrets from the Holy See seem almost entertaining. Well, I'm just glad you're here to back us up, in case things go wrong. Having secured Sir Emmerich's support, we may proceed without fear of a preemptive Ishgardian attack, which is not to say we can't afford to dither. History tells us that the Dravanians will attack as soon as our horde reaches a critical size. Before that happens, we must needs track down and win over the Lady Iceheart, and then locate and parlay with Nidhogg. In short, time is against us. If you are ready, Astidian, let us be about our task. Alright then. With that...
Such commotion.
Yes, Your Eminence. The bells of the Observatorium warn of our enemy's approach.
So, the dragons are coming. Let them come, in their hundreds and their thousands. With the divine blade in our hands, we shall rend their flesh and drown the heretics in their master's blood. Even Nidhogg and his foul brood shall be powerless to resist us. And when we have rid the world of their pestilence, we shall turn our attention to our Ascian allies. See that they are suitably rewarded for their invaluable assistance.
If I may, Your Eminence, the Paragons wield powers strange and unknowable. Can we be certain that they will not see through our deception?
We can be certain of naught save the righteousness of our cause. If you would be a true leader of men, you must possess conviction as well as caution. We seek to excise the root of an evil that has blighted us for 1,000 years. The risk is worth the reward.
And what of Estinian and this Warrior of Light? They have plans of their own.
Leave them to their purpose. We must each play the role we have been given. You and your chosen brothers most of all.
For the glory of King Thordan.
Well then, that was vaguely ominous, the voice change on Zephyrin at the end there. What could the Pope be planning? How could the dragons be powerless to oppose Ishgard? What secret weapon do you have for fighting them? It sounds like you found something. Well, I suppose we'll have to figure that out in due time. Or maybe he's just confident. I'll see everyone next time as we set out in search of Lady Iceheart.